Where to start? Looks kind of breezy. You know the story of my Cape Cod wind and weather instruments, why they're upside down? Because south is forward out this house. That was my dad's way of putting it up there. Wind is from the west. And believe it or not, it's 68 degrees inside the house and 70 degrees outside the house. A warm front came through and the clouds are zipping by from the southwest. Crows pointing north. Wind swirls, you know that. This crow's not long for the world. All right, let's go check out how that grass that I planted on Labor Day is doing. It's up. I moved the cover over. Oops. And I'm getting the grass to go over here. I think we're going to have crickets. Look at them all. Look at all the crickets. Isn't that fun? Anyhow, I think you can fish with crickets. So I guess I'll stand here out of the wind and talk about what's going on. There is a wall of water coming out of New York. We start the day with severe weather in western Massachusetts. It is a stormy day. It's windy. Here in eastern Massachusetts, we could have some winds gusting past 30, even without a thunderstorm, but there are storms. Let's go to the 10 o'clock outlook here. Very heavy rain with embedded thunder is over across much of north central Massachusetts, southern New Hampshire. 2 o'clock, it's getting close to where I am on Cape Cod. It's pouring around the Boston area. We may have flash flooding today. That's a change in the schedule, right? We haven't had flash flooding on a Thursday in like 3 or 4 weeks. This is the fourth week in a row for a serious cold front coming through New England on a Thursday and a Friday. And then by 6 o'clock tonight, the showers and thunderstorms are still in eastern Massachusetts. Total precipitation today, a stripe of purple that's 3 to 4 inches according to the NAM. High resolution guidance. We know that we can't rely on this for where the heaviest rain is going to be, but we know that somebody's going to get more than 3 inches of rain. Could be in New Hampshire, could be right here on Cape Cod, where I hope it waits until late in the day. I have a lot to do today. That's a huge poplar tree, by the way. Yeah, I'd like to show you all the garden, but we got to get to the down to business here. This cold front's going to come through here. I've been calling this cold front Fiona repellent, as it's going to grab Fiona and take her out to sea, but not that far out to sea. So we still have wind and waves coming to New England, and the storm's going to be going post-tropical, but not until after it hits Nova Scotia as a 927 millibar low. That's 29.27 in the conversion chart. And that would be the strongest or deepest low pressure center to hit maritime Canada on record. I think beating 1977 or something like that. And anyhow, 27.27 compares to the hurricane in 1938, 2797, I believe. So this is just a monster. There's the wind in Cape Breton gusting past 100 miles per hour with landfall. That's happening on Saturday morning, midnight really for us, Friday night into Saturday morning. And what about the surf and seas for New England? Ocean Prediction Center says it's a 17-second swell on our shore. That's almost unheard of, especially with such a large wave. This is tomorrow, by the way. With the tightly packed gradient there, these numbers are in meters, and that's 2 to 3 meters. And that would be sort of 4 to 8 foot breakers right on the beach. But I think we're going to have probably be able to 10 to maybe 13 foot swell at 17 seconds. That's a really dangerous wave, dangerous to even stand on the jetties around the Northeast as this happens at high tide. Let's see, what's the moon doing? I think we're getting close to a new moon, so the tide should be high around midnight and midday. That's what we're thinking. It's so windy though. Extreme surfing. I mean, the wind on Friday is still, tomorrow is still gusting past 25, 35 from the north and northwest. So if you can find something sheltered south facing coastline maybe. And if you looked closely at that swell height, there was a shadow there in the Gulf of Maine. So maybe New Hampshire seacoast gets spared those monster waves, but either way. And then Saturday, it's still breezy from the northwest. I mean, that storm is over Nova Scotia, and it's such strong high pressure coming at us for the third Saturday in a row. And it does, let's go back to the NAM chart, it does show some snow falling in our mountains from Mount Mansfield to Mount Washington, and Whiteface probably turn white on Saturday. It does look like there's just enough moisture now. Yesterday it did not. And then what happens after that? Let's see. Oh yes, we have another storm forming. Oh, Gaston. Yesterday it was supposed to pull north, and then
west, north of the Azores. Now it's supposed to pull right into the Azores and then pull south and west. Complete 180 on the forecast for Gaston. And the forecast for what will become Hurricane Hermine is into the Gulf of Mexico. Now here's our regularly scheduled Tuesday rain in the northeast, and could that protect us from Hermine coming up the coast? Perhaps. The forecast from the Euro has shifted to the west a little bit now, and it brings it into the mid-Atlantic states late next week as really a nor'easter at that point, because there's such cold air feeding the north side of it. So it'll be transitioning to a post-tropical storm pretty quickly well, slowly over this time, but by the middle of next week, with that cold air, another front with record cold possible here, especially in southeastern Canada in the middle of next week. So that could be a potential nor'easter for us late next week, and a strong one. There's the sun hitting the top of the poplar. Okay, we're at 5:50. I got to work today. I'll leave you with some serene, I'm trying to think of a word, more calm moments of nature from Yarmouth Port yesterday. Hawk. Or is that an osprey? Something big made that ripple. I think we got striped bass feeding in Bass River. Last water test day of the year, September 21, 2022. It was perfectly calm, but one boat. Fish are jumping right over there. There's the Arthur Walker Association Beach. And there's William Albert Kelly, a guest tester today. The camera made him squint. Yeah, we're doing the final test of 2021. Oxygen, the hardest one. Chickadee-dee-dee-dee. Final test of 2022. In the books. Friends of Bass River Water Testing Manual 2022. William Albert Kelly, guest scientist. Shouldn't the turkeys be all grown up this time of year? Seen a lot of poults looking pretty small. Shouldn't the little ones be grown up by now? How long does it take a poult to not be a poult anymore? Guys, mind if I play through? I don't know what that was either. Lots of birds around here.